me just take you back 1 week and tell you what's happened in the last week. Okay? Right. On Tuesday morning last week, we had a metal boat. It was a ferry, an old metal ferry came across, and he grounded about 30 metres out. And the sea wasn't that bad. It was rough, but not that rough. But on this ferry was 250 people, women, children, babies. So, you know, every day we're making decisions as volunteers out there. So we got an old boat that came in, put a rope on it, and one of us went out and attached it to the ferry, and we were passing people down off the ferry onto the boat 10 at a time and getting them back to shore. We got everyone back. They took the ferry around into another harbour, which probably sunk. If that ferry sunk out in the sea, we would have lost a lot more people. Tuesday night, we lost one person on the cliff face. 4 boats came in. This was a bit tragic because when we went down there, I was called by the Spanish Lifeguards. We have a team of Spanish Lifeguards out there. They're doing a fantastic job, and they called me and they said there's a big panic going on. But one boat in at a time. When I got there, they were bringing the last person off from the boat. This was sort of 9 kilometres down a dirt track. When we got this old lady up, we had to carry her up a cliff face, 30-40 metres. And we sat her on the top of the cliff. And as we sat her up, I could hear voices and screaming. People shouting, help, help. And there was more boats coming in. Another 3 came in into the exact position, which is very strange. You know? So I climbed down the rope and everything, and there was 3 guys down there flashing the boats in on the rocks so they could pinch the petrol. That day we had 120 boats come across, 6,000 people. Now it's Tuesday. Wednesday morning was one of the worst days we've had last week. It started off, a boat came in at the lighthouse to one side of Lesvos. And the boat crashed into the rocks about 15 metres out, and the sea was rough, I mean very rough. One of us went out with a rock with a rope on it. We managed to throw it the last few metres, and they tied it on the end of the boat. And the boat, when it came in, it hit the rocks and went sideways, so everyone was inside the boat, was sort of sitting at dangles, and people sitting on the side of the boat. And the engine was still running. Anyway, we got the volunteers in the line, 15 metres out, and we brought everyone in. And halfway through bringing them in, the boat caught fire. Lucky enough, it was just diesel black smoke. It was bad enough that it panicked a lot of people and then panicked us. But we done it, we got everyone in. That morning, one of the volunteers had a 2-year-old guy in his arms. A 5-year-old girl, we didn't have another boxing for. Anyway, during the day we had a lot of boats coming in. And at 3:30 in the afternoon, I had another major call, and someone said a boat had gone down, a big wooden boat. I went up on the cliff face just to check and everything else, and they said it went down so quick, 1 minute it was there, the next minute it wasn't. So I'm looking out over 2.5 kilometres with binoculars, and there's just red light jackets everywhere. So we called the Coast Guard. And at the time we were calling the Coast Guard, we got a Norwegian Frontex out there. They got a beautiful boat. And they were coming past, and I managed to signal them with a piece of, with an old hygiene blanket, emergency blanket, silver one. And they clocked me up on the cliff face, and I put them out. And they just turned and went straight out. A bit further out, they're still going the wrong direction. They look back, and I see them looking at me in binoculars, and I moved them over. And they got straight on the boat. Well, on the people, the boat wasn't there. After that, the Spanish lifeguards went out on their jet skis, lucky enough. A fishing boat went into the area. The Greek Coast Guard, the Greek Coast Guard, these guys are working 12-hour shifts, and they've been doing this for 9 months. I've seen them bring in so many people that have sunk out, it's unbelievable. If there's any heroes, God, those guys are heroes. Anyway, later that evening, 6 o'clock, there was a call for every medic to get into Lesvos harbour. We got a lot of doctors from all around the world with big hearts that are out there helping us for nothing, just volunteers. And they all went down the harbour. When I got down there, it was just, God, it was insanity, absolutely insanity. Fishing boats were coming in, bringing people in, the Coast Guard were coming in, bringing people in, and they were laid out on the harbour, and doctors pumping people. And at one stage there, I was stood amongst 4 groups of doctors all around me, and I was, at the time, I was getting clothes off of wet men. You know, most of our volunteers are women. So, you know, being a man, I had to sort of look after the men and get their trousers and pants off and get them in some dry clothes or some towels. I looked around and there was 4 lots of doctors around me pumping small babies. I wouldn't say any of them were over 18 months. Out of the 4, only 1 made it. Anyway, later on I went over to Petra Harbour. There's another boat came in from rescuing people from the same wooden boat. There was, I met a doctor, a Syrian doctor in the harbour. I took a load of emergency blankets over there for the boats, the people coming off the fishing boats. And he said he was on the boat, he said the top deck collapsed onto the bottom deck with all the people underneath. And it went down within 60 seconds. Anyway, that was Wednesday, you know. Wednesday we had approximately 80 boats coming that day as well, 4,000 people. So, Thursday, 15 confirmed dead from the boat before. We had 8 boats sunk during Thursday, out at sea, and the Coast Guard rescued everyone. And the Spanish lifeguards were out there rescuing people as well. But we got everyone in on Thursday. We had approximately 60 boats Thursday, 3,000 people. This area we're looking after is 15 kilometres only. The refugees come in over an 85 kilometre stretch, and the only bit is looked after is our 15 kilometres. You know, we don't have the manpower to look after everything. I'm hoping to take in another 10 kilometres this winter at a very bad area where we've lost a lot of people. And, you know, with the help of positive action and what you promised me, 200 people coming, hopefully we can do that one. So that's Thursday. Friday, 28 bodies washed up on Petra Beach. Women, children, men. 1 body at the lighthouse at Morelos. 1 body on my beach. 60 boats, 3,000 people came in on Friday. These 28 bodies, they say was for the wooden boats. I don't think so. This is a separate incident. Because of the tides and the currents, I lived out there 16 years, I fished it all. And without having a map, if this is Lesvos like this, the boat went down here, about 2.5 kilometres out, and the current runs out towards Thessaloniki. The bodies were found around here on another beach. So we would have had to go out with that current and come in with another current. I can't see that. And the bodies they found weren't damaged at all. So on Saturday, 60,000 on Friday. Saturday, we only had 15 boats on Saturday. It was Turkish elections. 4 boats sank. We rescued everyone off the 4 boats. What we do as well, you know, when the boats come in, we grab a boat and we turn it. We jump on it if the boat's sinking and we go out there and rescue. Saturday morning, 8 bodies washed up on my beach, 4 children, 4 adults. Sunday, we had 40 boats. I was travelling, so I have no other information yet. I haven't spoken to Philippa about Sunday at all. My wife was over there dealing with it and all the volunteers we got. Yesterday I spoke to Philippa and she had 50 boats in by 1:30 lunchtime. They were expecting a big day yesterday. And I haven't spoken to her since then except for the message that came through. the message that came through while I was here, we just had another 3 children dead. Washed up on the beach. Okay, I have about now, you know, we ran the situation for 5 months, just me, my wife and my daughter. Now I have about 160 volunteers from Norway, England, Scotland, Denmark, Netherlands, from all over. They're coming from all over to help. A lot of doctors are coming, a lot of professional people are coming. And we try and run as one team. It's very difficult because, you know, we had people coming for 1 week and they go, and we had a lot of people coming with big egos and they want to run the situation. Anyway, we get there. We get around all the problems and we carry on. A strange thing happened to me on the 20th of October. I was out on the dirt tracks. And the dirt tracks are a very horrible place with cliff faces and everything. And I'm out on these dirt tracks and 2 ambulances come across the top. And I think, God, what's going on here? I've never seen an ambulance out there. You know, they're not the best of tracks to ride on anyway. And as they come flying past, it said Glasgow Cares written across the side of them. You know, weird things happen. Anyway, I jumped in the car, chased them down, and said, what the hell are you doing? You know, and the group of lads, and they bought these ambulances to bring across and give to us. It's just fair to I couldn't take one myself, they did offer because of the laws in Greece, but I advised them to give them to the local hospital or the capital city, give it to the mayor, and they would get over all the red tape. So I thank the lads for that. So, in the north, we feed everyone. The UNHCR and any aid agencies, they don't feed, we feed. We get donations from all around the world. Melinda runs the Lesvos Refugee Society, which is all expats and volunteers, and she's just become a little NGO. People give her money and she buys the food. People put money in a local shop for me and I give the biscuits, my pampers and everything else I need. But there's no aid agencies up there. You know, the UNHCR came in about a month ago and stuck a tent on a bit of land we managed to get from a really nice guy. So we could put some tents up and put people in for a night until we get the buses there. Get the buses up from Italy and get them buses. At one time we didn't have any buses. Everyone had to walk 65 kilometres. And all through the summer, by the thousands and thousands, you know, women, children walking in 40 degrees heat. It looked like something out of the Second World War. Unbelievable. And the UNHCR is there all the time. They've got an office there. And they are watching these people suffer day in, day out, and done nothing. At one stage there, I cleaned the toilets in Harrowing, 65 kilometres from my house. Doctors Without Borders have this half of Harrowing site. The site is split into 2. The other half is run. But I was cleaning Doctors Without Borders half because they're there. They took over the site. They said they're going to run it. They publicised it. They asked for donations, but they can't clean the toilets for 2 months. And I got a team of people in. One lady from New York, a lawyer, a couple of nice people from England came. And we got a few volunteers amongst the refugees coming and giving us a hand. You know, it wasn't the nicest job in the world when you have 2 months of excrement to clean up, stuff on the walls and everything, and the flies, and the smell was just unbelievable. Anyway, we done it, we cleaned it up, and we got 40 volunteers to clean the site up because Doctors Without Borders couldn't even pick any paper up. And if you can imagine 2 months of rubbish and they're sleeping on it, it was absolutely disgusting. So I got a load of bags and gloves and brooms and I gave them to the Syrians and the Afghanistans, and with 4 hours we cleaned the whole site, the whole half of the site. The Doctors Without Borders, you know, this is aid agencies for you. They've opened my eyes. You know, I'm a woodcarver. What I've seen in 9 months is absolutely bloody disgusting. It's unbelievable. So, anyway, when I got back to Lesvos, I bumped into 220 Afghans. They hadn't eaten for 3 days. They'd got in the time I was down to clean the toilets. They'd come in and they'd walked into the Lesvos bus stop And all it is a bus stop with a car parked around the back. And they were all there, and I stopped the car and see if everyone was okay. They hadn't eaten for 3 or 4 days. They've been in the woods in Turkey. They're in poor condition. They're in soaking wet clothes where they've just come in. So I rang my wife. I rang another guy, volunteer, to get there, and I rang Philippa to get some clothes and pampers and stuff, and biscuits and things, anything we can get. And a tourist came and helped us. Anyway, we were there for about 3 hours. We got everyone stabilised, we got all the children in dry clothes and everything else, and we fed them, gave them water and that. And it was France 24, new crew arrived, and I said to them, I've been in Karateki this morning cleaning the toilets. And I said, you know, there's no one there. There's no organisations there, there's no manager in the camp. They're just dropping the refugees outside, or they're walking, and there's nothing. There's no notice boards, there's nothing. They're living on filth. You know, this is the biggest aid agency in the world. They have an office here, they have people here. Why aren't they, you know, doing something? And the reporter said to me, Eric, he said they're over there in the restaurants eating fish and drinking wine, and they've been there for 3 hours watching you. You can imagine how I felt. These are the experts on this situation. I'm not, I'm a woodcarver, you know. And the other people with me are just normal people. And there you have the experts sitting, eating dinner, drinking wine for 3 hours, watching 4 people that don't know what the hell they're doing, looking after 220 Afghanistanis. Disgusting. The Red Cross, another one. You know, these aid agencies are unbelievable. The Red Cross, a few months ago, they advertised that they were in Moria. Moria camp is the most disgusting pit in there. It is, I've been told Moria camp is worse than any Bangladeshi camp, any camp in Africa. And I can believe it. You see a bit of it there. You know, the first time I went, it was a lot worse than that. But the Red Cross said they had 60 volunteers in Moria camp. This is the Danish Red Cross. And they had midwives and doctors. Anyway, I couldn't believe what I see on the internet. They're advertising for donations. They've got this beautiful photograph. And this photograph, lovely photograph, and I have lovely walls, refugees sitting on the wall, beautiful flowers. And there they are in their red jackets and everything else. And, the reality was, you know, the place is a shithole. It's a dump. Sorry for the language, but I do get really upset. But the reality was this photo wasn't even from Moria, you know. This photo was somewhere else, everywhere. And they're advertising for donations, and there's no one there. I went down 2 weeks later, and it was disgusting. I could have cleaned that site with 10 people in one morning. They say they have 60 people there, and they're advertising for money all around the world. 2 days ago, I was speaking to a guy from Denmark, and there's been a bit of a stink about the Red Cross in Denmark. And he said they have received 13 million for this, for the islands. I'm supplying, there's 6 Red Cross there, and they're Greek Red Cross with a van. I'm supplying them with emergency blankets. I'm supplying them with bandages. I'm supplying them with tape. And the Red Cross is earning all this money from around the world. It's absolutely bloody disgusting. NGOs, we have NGOs coming in all the time. You know, something very wrong here. You know, and I don't know how they got away with it all these years. I've had people now coming in to me from Haiti, from Bangladesh, from Africa, from Croatia, when all these agencies have been there, and the stories are the same. Absolute same. And now we have lots of individuals that can see where the money's coming in. And we get all these new NGOs popping up everywhere. And they come in, they take photographs of women and children and everything else, and they promise me the earth, and we never see them again. And you go on the internet and they're advertising, showing these photographs. And they're just taking the money. They're con artists. One after the other. It's sick. There's got to be some sort of control. Some sort of body, you know, there has to be rules and laws against these aid agencies, not just the big ones, but all these people that can see they can earn a lot of money very quick and walk away with it. I was told the Danish Red Cross, they have to put their books out every year of how much money they spend on administration and everything else. But that only applies when they're in Denmark. When they go out to other countries, that's where it all disappears. They go there and they put a thing on. And the guy I was speaking to about the Danish Red Cross, he said, they are on the island. And I said, where? He said, they're on the west coast. The west coast, in a place called Plamari, they're lucky to get 1 boat or 2 boats a month coming in there. And there's a group of Red Cross from Denmark there. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And it's not as though they don't know what goes on the island. Okay, that's the aid agency. I don't have much love for the aid agencies. We do have a couple of really good small NGOs, and we've been offered help from Public Action, and I know we'll get it. And I thank you very much for that one. The abuse is going on. I'm up on this mountain looking down on a 6-kilometre stretch across 20-25 kilometres either way, and I see everything. And I talk to the refugees when they come in, and if I see abuses on the boats, I will take that boat and I will go and speak to them. Some of it I have on record, and it's on YouTube. Even Sky News filmed, they came across on a boat and they were abused. And this thing scared me more than anything. They were abused by the Turkish Coast Guard, knowing that Sky News was on the boat with the camera, and he was filming them. And he tried to sue them. He was going around the mirror and shot at them with live bullets and told them to stop filming. And that film's on the internet, you can see. But I've seen the abuses go on and on, one after the other. There's different Coast Guard boats. There's 2 very fast ones. They're the very abusive ones. They go round and round the dinghies, trying to get up a wake of water, and they sink the dinghies. This boat slices dinghies, has a long stick with a knife. Many refugees have told me, and he slices the dinghies. And when they go in the water, they pick them up and they go back to Turkey as heroes because they've rescued these people. The latest one is sick. They're thrown out a cable on the boat, electric cable, and they're putting a current down it. They tell the people to grab the boat, they're saving them, and they put a current down the boat. I spoke to 2 boats 2 weeks ago, told me this, and they see a burn another time on the baby's arm from this cable. Plus they water cannon the boats, they fill the boats with water. If you can imagine these boats, there's 60 people, 70 people on a boat in a dinghy. The men sit around the outside on the top of the dinghy. And the women and children are in the middle. And even when they come across the sea, the water goes in the centre, the women and children are sat down in the centre. But then you get a Turkish boat, the Coast Guard comes and puts a water cannon straight in the middle so they can sink it with all these babies and children. There's a lot of people here who need to go to the Hague. A lot of people. The abuses from Turkey have got worse because the EU governments have given Turkey 3 billion to hold these people back. We're losing a lot more people now because of this decision, because they come overnight. They don't want to come during the day because the Turkish Coast Guard will sink them. I had a boat come in last week. It was their 5th attempt. They'd been sunk 3 times by the Turkish Coast Guard. They finally made it. Giving the Turkish 3 billion, in my opinion, to abuse refugees that have been persecuted, and paying a government to persecute them even more, is against the Geneva Convention. The Geneva Convention was put up by a group of people, intelligent people, to help people like this. And when you have the EU government going against it with complete immunity, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know what the outcome of this one is, I really don't. I know we've got teams out there all night now, and we're rescuing people all the time because the abuse is going on during the day. And this is due to the EU. You know, this is not due to anyone else, this is due to the EU paying the Turkish government. Okay, the solution to this, I don't know, I'm a wood carver, I don't know. You know, it's a crazy situation. But I do know bombing Syria is wrong, you know, because a lot more people are going to die. It needs to be a political solution. And I know, you know, this crazy, you know, this eyesore, it's evil. And I think the secret services from around the world need to get together. If they really want to stop this, you know, they're the people with the expertise. They need to get together. Russia's secret service, all the secret services need to get together and stop the finances going into ISIL. You know, you stop the finances, you cut off the head. And that's it, you know. And it can't be difficult, you know, these secret services, they have the equipment and everything, they have the knowledge to do this. And that would solve half the problem in Syria, and then we could get together and we could solve the war. Yeah. People like Assad should we go to The Hague, I know, but that will never happen. You know, but he needs to go to The Hague.